Welcome back. Game number 2 between Vindian and EWOWO. I am joined by Mr. Dobbs, who's going to be introducing these two civilizations for you. Dobbs, take the room.
Yeah, so it looks like we have EWO here on Ethiopia, and we have Vindian here on Lakota. Obviously, EWO is a fan of the African civs. There's no doubt about that. And Vindian here, Lakota, he that was his main for a very long time. So interested to see how this matchup goes.
Do you think on a map like this, with no TP, that Ethiopia can perform well, right? Because
I think
Ethiopia
this is
does.
Lakota favored.
You think there's Lakota favored?
I
I
think the
think,
map is Lakota favored.
yeah.
So they don't typically need TPs anyways. They don't really use. It's very open, so open for raids all day long. Wide open map, a lot of resources on the map. Look at all the resources
And all
all
they,
over
they
there.
have they have cattle as well. You can find a couple of cows here, and
Yeah, plus
Vindian is
cattle.
just taking
Got some
taking
good
his
treasures as well.
this.
Lakota does well with taking treasures as well. So I don't know. I think it's gonna come down to who's better, but I think we're gonna see a. I'm assuming we're gonna see some H2 play out of both.
Absolutely. And I personally feel like on a map like this, Lakota can do very, very well if they control the middle portion of the map with the early aggression. The natives also improve cavalry, I believe. No, they actually improve all
Let's see. What do we
units.
have? We have Apache. So
Yeah.
that does help with speed on them. And then we also have Navajo gather rate. So also that's gonna be great. The Navajo shepherds for
Yep.
if it goes late game, the gather rate on the
Yep.
herded animals.
Abs.
I'm assuming that
abs
affects the bison.
uh,
Um,
yep.
so I mean a bunch of different ways to go about this. But if you take a look here on, I can pull it up, hitting all the wrong buttons. Looks like we have a native deck coming out of Lakota.
I
Uh,
see that. I see that.
very interesting on
Native
that.
treaties. Why? Why on a
Um,
map like this would you play native treaties? Hmm.
sure. Hmm. There's no native that, I mean, the only native that's offered for Lakota that they don't really have a version of would be the Navajo Rifleman for an Age 2 skirm.
Right.
But against Ethiopia, do you really need that? Because they don't have an Age 2 skirm outside of Cannoneer, right?
Yeah.
You've played a lot of Ethiopia.
No, I don't think you necessarily need it. And you also have your bows, your setons, which are actually quite good. I mean, you got
I think bows
setons.
are OP.
Yeah.
I feel like they counter everything
Yeah.
quietly,
Yeah.
silently. You don't see that in the numbers. But
Mm-hmm.
I swear to everything. They counter it all. We got a Vindian here going to go ahead and age up here with 15 total vills or 14 total vills, one in queue. So we're going to get 15 out of him. Ethiopia going ahead and queuing up here right now, the age up, and he is going up with Habasha.
Yep.
You go ahead and explain that because
So
I don't.
that one is the kind of each African civ has their own version of the natives. The Habesh are kind of the Ethiopians, and that Ajab will improve the mountain monasteries and permit him to train more Abuns, right? So
Okay.
he can
Yep.
increase the number of Abuns that he can get, and he also gets a little bit of coin, 300 coin, I believe, from the Ajab. So it's very generous. You get a 300 coin, you can just get 2 more Abuns from the get go and kind of boom that influence.
A little bit more of a boomy age up.
Absolutely.
Eco age up here.
Eco
We
oriented.
if we take a look here at Ethiopia's deck, what kind of deck do we have out of Ethiopia? Looks like a pretty standard Ethiopia deck. Right? I mean, I
Yep.
played a little bit of them, but looks quite standard. He does have the prize bowl for Big Benny. That card comes in clutch. Along with the Labella Rock shirt. Makes gathering gold easy, very easy.
Yeah, and a lot of Abuns in deck, which means that he's gonna be able to get coin, that he's gonna be able to get influence, and use that influence to produce units. He also has he does have the cannoneers as well for a nice little push. So a lot of options for Ethiopia. Ethiopia is building a war camp and is gonna be building another mountain monastery very very soon. 300 coin in his TC. Let's see what he's gonna do. I personally feel like he's gonna be investing that right away into some Abundance, but we'll see. Lakota is just claiming the treasures on the left side of the map.
Looks like EWOWO might be microing for an age up here.
It kind of looks like it. He does
Going
have,
right to age 3.
it could be done. No, I find it particularly I find that surprising though. Why would he go directly to H3 against Lakota? Because you already have Javelin Riders in H2, so technically you already have all the counters for the cavalry. But again, we'll see. He's not training units, you're right. It's...
It looks like he's gonna go ahead and try to micro the age up here. So it looks like we're gonna go ahead and get an age up out of here, and I'm assuming he wants to. My guess, it would be nice to have the skirmishers plus the javelin riders as a combination. Javelin, you know, the skirmishers to take care of the bow riders, the javelin riders to deal with the axe riders. If Vindian's gonna go ahead and play H2.
And he's aging up with the Somalis, right? So he's gonna get the Somalians natives, which are very long-range anti-artillery units, but technically
very interesting.
They kill infantry because of their long range and high attack damage as well. So
we got
very
interesting plays coming out of here from possibly both civs. We're going ahead and getting native treaties being sent. Vindian has both native posts, so he's gonna get a nice little shipment here of native units. Looks like he does not have any military buildings at all. Or is that in the back? I'm sorry.
No,
they're in the back.
He does have 2 war huts and a
Club
stable,
Warriors.
But it's kind of interesting because out of that card, he only got 3 Apaches and 4 Navajos, which I mean at this time in game, I don't think it's the best shipment. It's not the worst.
He needs to start putting some pressure on, or Ethiopia is gonna just scale like crazy over him.
I also don't understand why he built his base in a defensive manner if he was going to be pushing with that army. Because look at all the walking time. It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Agreed. We're gonna go ahead and get the Spirit Medicine upgrade along with Q in the Ville. No shipment available here for Indian. No units in queue either. Resources very heavy on food. If you take a look here at the micro from Indian, almost all units, all villagers on food.
He's actually queuing a couple of Navajos.
He is queuing. He is. I see that queuing some Navajo riders, riflemen. Well, that does make sense. So it looks like he's really investing here on the Navajos. Javelin riders now out on the field for Ethiopia. I don't know how I feel about this. Riflemen do have a multiplier against cavalry, a big one against light range cavalry. So Navajos should do well here.
EWOWO has another shipment ready to send, and I think he's probably gonna send. He doesn't have the Sevastopol mortar in this deck, which is very surprising.
Does not, and he is going ahead and making a Shawtel warrior as well. He does have 5 Showtel warriors plus his 2 Abins moving forward here. Issa warriors are gonna do a lot of damage. Vindian going ahead to trying to match here. They're gonna go ahead and try to fight here. I don't really like this fight for Vindian at all.
No. And these Somali warriors fire so fast that
yeah, not a good fight here for Vindian. Just being outmassed in every manner. Showtels are gonna go ahead and slow him and possibly snare some units. Vindian already on the back foot here, and we do have the Aroma Warrior coming in along with the 7 Neftanias coming out of EWOWO. Yeah, we got 3 Apache Cavalry and 4 Axe Riders. Oda, not looking good.
Very difficult composition to fight because he has a little bit of everything. He has Musketeers, anti-cav, shock infantry, skirms. He has a little bit of everything. So EWOWO is not.
These Neftania are going to eat everything he has.
Oh.
It's over at that point. Look at the domination we have here in his base. 4 Axe Riders now coming in, but he has the Javelin Riders that 24 vills for Vindian, 18 for EWOWO. Plenty of resources still. EWOWO and Vindian has no choice based off his micro he has to keep making the native, even if he didn't want to. He has no goal.
Yeah, Yeah. And look at the Abans just healing the units while in combat.
Yes.
Insane. Insane. That's one of the things about
And
Ethiopia. And it's game over.
he has done a good job keeping the Somali warriors alive. I mean, he still has 5 through all this fighting.
These guys fire almost.
That is it.
They fire so quickly. So quickly.
Unfortunate. Um, who would have thought a fast fortress out of Ethiopia versus Lakota?
This is the good thing about watching these games. I'm learning things about Ethiopia that I myself didn't know. I never done a strat like this. I personally
Strong, right? Very strong.
Very strong, very viable. A little bit weak on the villager front because EWOWO is not even training villagers for almost 2 minutes. Even longer. 3 minutes actually, because he ages up, but he doesn't actually train any vills. He just commits to the military.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to though. When you have that kind of mass in H3 and your opponent's stuck in H2, I mean, at that point you just send the shipments and keep pushing. I mean, he got a good amount of unit shipments out. If you take a look, I mean, he got a good amount of shipments out.
And it's a little bit also an overkill by Vindian to get all 4 of these trading posts. We could have gotten away with only 2, to get the native treaties. And then, if he had trained enough units and he needed to go past that build limit, he could have gotten a second native post of the same type. These are a lot of resources. This is an extra 200 food and 200 wood invested. That for
I would have
little
liked to see a normal gameplay out of Lakota here, just massing bow riders and axe riders. Then maybe transitioning to an H3, possible H4 play, or even transitioning into a fast industrial with Lakota. I mean, I know you've done it a few times. Once you get H4 with Lakota, they are strong. They are strong.
We have cattle here. Vindian did very well finding 6 cows. These guys have 200 food in each. Like with this and a little bit of a micro, you could have squeezed in a little age up right here.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially once you can get that 7 Council Fires card, which gives you automatic upgrades to basically all your hand units. I mean,
exactly.
And plus you get a 21 unit shipment on top of that for 750 gold.
Yeah.
That's when Lakota just really takes over.
And Vindian had that card. Vindian had cards for that late portion of the game.
I've seen him do that 1,000 times. I really would have thought that's what he did. The fast industrial, 11 minutes, then just start sending out the units. But
it didn't.
He made a decision. He made a decision. Unfortunately, EWO was superior.
All right, so we're gonna end the recording here. We'll see you in the next series. Cheers.